Good morning, Rod. Thanks for taking the call. Lovely to speak with you. It's an honour to speak to you, actually. How have you been keeping?
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Neil, and good morning to you too.
Okay, I got to tell you a story before we start. I know that you spend a lot of time in New York, and it's a question that I want to pose to you because last week I was in PJ Clark's on Friday night. There was a big after-work drinking crowd there, and somebody went to the in-house jukebox system and they put on Maggie May, and the entire bar just erupted. I was just wondering while I was watching them and listening to it, thinking about you. Have you ever, or would it be a wonderful thing for you to put on a disguise and a hat and go in? Have you ever experienced people's reaction to your music and say, for instance, a song like that and how it touches them?
Well, Neil, I get a reaction every time I do a concert.
Yeah.
But as far as dressing up in disguise, yeah, I've done it a few times. You know, sometimes if I go to a Celtic bar to watch a football match, I might put on a disguise. Otherwise, I'm quite proud of who I am.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying anonymously, you know, so that you can just observe the effect that your music has on people for so long. That's what I was thinking anyway.
No, I haven't. But I do realise and understand that it does have an effect on people, and that is one of the wonderful things about music.
Yeah,
you know, it just does.
And,
it reminds you of times gone by, and that's what we do. Music.
Yeah. And of all ages, people of all ages, because you're coming up to 50 years since your first record deal. And you know that story about you busking at Twickenham railway station. Is that truthful and accurate that Long John Baldry came along, heard you playing the harmonica?
Absolutely true. Yeah, I'd been down to Eel Pie Island, which is in Twickenham, and I was on my way back, and so was John. And I was sitting on the floor playing a harmonica, and he came up to me and he said, "Do you want to join the band?" You know, he was just breaking away from Alexis Corner. He said, "I'm going to form my own band. Would you like to come along, play harmonica, and do a couple of songs?" I said, "Of course." And that was the start of it all.
And obviously he saw that there was talent there, and that brought you on to, wasn't it, working with Jeff Beck, working with the Small Faces? I can go back with vinyl at home to I'm Drinking Again and Cindy Incidentally. That's not today or yesterday now.
No, that's the Jeff Beck group, late 60s, and of course Drinking Again was. And the other one was the Faces, which was a brilliant band. You know, I don't realise how brilliant they were, or we were, until, you know, I played Stay With Me or Ooh La La, and it really people just love the Faces.
Yeah. And it's timeless. I mean, it just stays with us. It hasn't aged or anything like that. But it was the 70s, though, that you kind of had a triumvirate of album hits, didn't you? Atlantic Crossing, followed by A Night on the Town, Footloose and Fancy Free. That's where all of the big 70s hits were, weren't they? Yeah,
they were. Yeah, it was a good period for me, the 70s going into the 80s. But don't forget, Neil, I've just come off of a #1 album in Great Britain, which I'm very proud of.
Oh, yeah, many of them. I think 200 million album sales, aren't I right? Something.
Yeah, it's getting on for 250 now.
250 million, 61 UK hits, 16 in the US. Do you have a particular favourite, though? I mean, for instance, who is Maggie May?
She was a lady that was probably 10 years older, maybe 15 years older than me, that I met at the Bewley Jazz Festival, and we did it, and I was a virgin. So I don't even think her name was Maggie, but that's basically what the song was all about.
True story then. And the secret as well, of course, the secret really is that not only can you sing or play musical instruments, but you're the songwriter of most of your hits. We don't hear that too often, sure we don't?
No, we don't, you know, and I mean, more recently now I've been, you know, critics have sort of noticed that I am a pretty good songwriter. But it took quite a long time.
A lot of us knew that for a long time. We had This Old Heart of Mine,
well,
first cut.
The image and the newspaper headlines get in the way of the songwriting, and it gets obliterated.
Yeah, I know. Having said all that, though, all of those decades, is life a lot calmer for you now? I mean, if you were to look back at all of those decades, which one was the craziest of them, from the point of view of the late nights and all of the trappings of fame?
You know, I can't I can't pinpoint one night or one particular week. It all sort of rolled into one, especially with the Faces, because we did like a drink, you know, Neil.
Yeah.
We did like a drink.
Yeah.
So, but it was all fun. I know we always say about the Faces, every night was Christmas Eve, and it was.
You know what? Your relationship with Jeff Beck is terrific. The version that you do with him on guitar of People Get Ready is just inspiring. It's probably my favourite song of yours. Would you agree that it's a masterpiece?
Thank you.
Isn't it a masterpiece?
It is. It was written by a chap called Curtis Mayfield, just to let your listeners know that Jeff and I didn't write it.
Yeah, yeah. But you work together. The synergy is there beautifully on the song, isn't it?
Yeah, we could still make some pretty brilliant music if we were to get together.
And do you know when you write a song, do you know it's going to be a hit? Like, say for instance, Sailing or This Old Heart of Mine or First Cut or I Was Only Joking or Do You Think I'm Sexy? When you've it written, can you tell?
Not really. Otherwise, I'd be able to write hit records. Every song on the album would be a hit. But you don't go into the studio to make hits. You go in the studio to make a good body of work. And if there's a couple of singles in there, then that'll be great. But no, we don't. You don't actually know. You have a good idea when you play to the record company whether it's going to be a hit, but that's not really what it's all about. When you make an album, or when, in the old days, you wanted a good body of work.
Yeah. But it's amazing because your ability to transcend so many different genres of music, pop, rock, folk, soul, R&B, the 2 great American songbooks, and the Christmas album, and yet another new album. I mean, that's serious talent. It really and truly is.
Well, I tell you what, I have to agree with you there, Neil.
Can't disagree with that, mate. I just came in the car listening to your version of Wonderful World. That's superb.
Good. Have you listened to Grace yet?
I have. Can I talk to you about that? Why did you decide to record it and give it the Rod Stewart treatment?
Well, as you know, Neil, I'm a big Celtic supporter, and I heard the Celtic supporters singing it a couple of years ago. And so I did my homework on it. The song fascinated me, so I did my homework, and I went to Chaoimh jail and went to the chapel, and did a lot of before I recorded it, because I wanted to know what it was all about. I knew it had something to do with the Easter uprising.
Yeah.
It just was a song that got to me. It's probably the most tragic love song I've ever had to sing.
Yeah.
And I enjoy it. I played that at Madison Square Gardens about 5 months ago, and I said, is there anybody from the Republic here? And it was a huge crowd, and it just went down so well. And every time I play it, it just haunts people. They listen to it. They don't usually listen to new songs, but this one they really do.
Well, you certainly got into it, and changed it to suit you and to give it some new life. She lived, I don't know, to the age of about 67, and she was faithful to him until the end. It was so tragic. It was probably the perfect love story. Never remarried. No, never ever did, and died in 1955 alone. It's a tragically sad story, but it's beautifully recorded.
Can't wait to sing that song in Cork.
Do you still love being on stage? I saw you in Pairc. You were banging out the hits, hit after hit. Long gig. I mean, you weren't on and off in an hour, I can tell you.
Well, it's enjoyable. It's there's a lot of reasons. Neil, it's what I do.
Yeah.
This is what God put me on this earth to do. I mean, I don't think with the way I look, I could have worked in a supermarket, and no disrespect to those people who do work in supermarkets.
You could have been a male model.
Oh, I don't know about that. The nose was too big. But the reason I still do it, obviously I get paid for doing it, but that's not the key reason. I enjoy it so much. And you can see, when I'm on the stage, it's written all over my face. I still love doing it.
And you still
the day the fun disappears, that's when I'll disappear.
And you still love doing the hits, of course, and that's what people come to hear, isn't it? But didn't I read somewhere that you actually could have been, and perhaps originally wanted to be, a professional soccer player?
Yes, I had my moments. Yeah, I was when I was about 16. I went for trials at Brentford FC, a London team, but I didn't get the call back. But
thankfully,
I've enjoyed. I only finished playing, football about 6 years ago, so I played for a very long time. competitive football, and it's been a huge part of my life.
Yeah, okay, I believe you, because I've seen the photographs and I've seen the videos. You were handy. Listen, are you following the Manchester United news at the moment? Because I know you're a big Celtic fan, but a Man U fan as well. You're aware of Mourinho and all that carry on, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I was aware of it within 10 minutes of it happening.
Yeah, what are your thoughts?
Thanks to the internet. Huh?
What are your thoughts on him being sacked?
I think most of us that understand football didn't think it was coming, quite honestly, considering he's just signed a new contract. It must cost them 24 million to pay him off.
Just to get out
Shocking
of it.
Amount of money.
Isn't it incredible, the amount of money in soccer? It's just nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's nuts.
No one's done anything since Sir Alex Ferguson. Really, that's when they started to drop off after Ferguson.
But you're bigger into Celtic
big
than...
shoes to fill.
Yeah, you're a big Celtic fan though, isn't that it?
Oh, yeah, the Celts. Yeah, I love them.
And come here, do you have to mind your voice all the time now? Keep an eye on it. Keep sure that it's kept healthy.
Not now, not right now, because I've finished. I've got a few months off now. But when I'm touring, yeah, it really does. I have to not talk too loud, drink plenty of water, warm up, warm down, get plenty of sleep.
Do you think of that?
It was always that way when I was in my 20s, but it's like an aging athlete. You have to look after your tools a little more.
So you can
a
stay.
lot more,
So you can stay on the track. And do you ever think back to that boy busking, that young fella busking in that train station, and wonder, wow, what a journey it's been?
Yeah, yes, indeed, I do. It was really a simple twist of fate. Maybe if Long John had caught a later train back to London, I wouldn't have been discovered, and God knows what would have happened.
Oh, God.
Sad to think.
Yeah, well, the world would have been a poorer place without you musically, of that you can be sure. Well done on the 30th
Thank
album,
you, Neil.
Blood Red Roses. Congratulations on that. Album number 30, I believe, am I right?
Yes, indeed.
Okay, but says you, who's counting? Hopefully there's many more to come.
Thanks, mate.
All right, great to catch up. Thanks for giving me the time, Rod. Have a good day. We'll see you.
Yeah, thanks, Neil. I'm going back to bed now.
All right, my son. See you later. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Bye, mate.
Cheers. We'll see you on Leeside on the 25th of May. The great Rod Stewart.